do it all. The angels willing to hold us in their arms. When our worth of stone or ashes, and we both passed on. Let forever mean forever and carry on.
It is December 20th, 2018. This is the Watchman News, and I'm Mike Callahan. Certainly, lots of news rolling in this evening. From the General Mattis resignation to I just seen news not that long ago that the House passed, I believe it was the House, passed the wall for $5.7 billion, and now it moves forward. But I want to look at one thing in particular. I also heard news, I haven't verified it, that 7,000 troops were going to be pulled from Afghanistan. And of course, I'm sure as you all know, that Trump says that he's going to be pulling troops from Syria. So I'm looking at all this information, and what I'm actually doing here is I want to talk about the resignation of General Mattis. But I'm also looking at the big picture here. Something is up. Something is up. I had posed the question earlier, and I have to pose it again. Is he bringing the troops home? Is he calling the troops home for a reason? So let's dig into this resignation and see what it has to say, because he most certainly took one heck of a swing at Trump in his resignation letter. I will put the link in the video description to this from The Atlantic. And like I say, it's a clear swing. Dear Mr. President, I have been privileged to serve as our country's 26th Secretary of Defense, which has allowed me to serve alongside our men and women of the Department in defense of our citizens and our ideals. I am proud of the progress that has been made over the past 2 years on some of the key goals articulated in our National Defense Strategy, putting the Department on a more sound budgetary footing, improving readiness and lethality in our forces, and reforming the Department's business practices for greater performance. Our troops continue to provide the capabilities needed to prevail in conflict and sustain strong U.S. global influence. One core belief I have always held is that our strength as a nation is inextricably, if I said that right, that's the first time I've ever seen that word, linked to the strength of our unique and comprehensive system of alliances and partnerships. While the U.S. remains the indispensable nation in the free world, we cannot protect our interests or serve that role effectively without maintaining strong alliances and showing respect to those allies. Like you, I have said from the beginning that the armed forces of the United States should not be the policemen of the world. Instead, we must use all tools of American power to provide for the common defense, including providing effective leadership in our alliances. NATO's 29 democracies demonstrated that strength in their commitment to fighting alongside us following the 9/11 attack on America. The Defeat ISIS coalition of 74 nations is further proof. Similarly, I can't even say the word. Similarly, I kind of did it. I believe we must be resolute and unambiguous in our approach to those countries. Why do they have to use these words, right? Whose strategic interests are increasingly in tension with ours. It is clear that China and Russia, for example, want to shape a world consistent with their authoritarian model, gaining veto authority over other nations' economic, diplomatic, and security decisions to promote their own interests at the expense of their neighbors, America, and our allies. That is why we must use all the tools of American power to provide for the common defense. My views on treating allies with respect and also being clear-eyed about both malign actors and strategic competitors are strongly held and informed by over 4 decades of immersion in these issues. We must do everything possible to advance an international order that is most conducive to our security, prosperity, and values, and we are strengthened in this effort by the solidarity of our alliances. Because you have the right to a Secretary of Defense whose views are better aligned with yours on these and other subjects, I believe it is right for me to step down from my position. The end date for my tenure is February 28, 2019, a date that should allow sufficient time for a successor to be nominated and confirmed, as well as make sure the Department's interests are properly articulated and protected at upcoming events, to include congressional posture hearings at the NATO Defense Ministerial meeting in February. Further, that a full transition to a new Secretary of Defense occurs well in advance of the transition of Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff in September in order to ensure stability within the Department. I pledge my full effort to a smooth transition that ensures the needs and interests of the 2.15 million service members and the 732,079 DoD civilians receive undistracted attention of the Department at all times so that they can fulfill their critical, round-the-clock mission to protect the American people. I very much appreciate this opportunity to serve the nation and our men and women in uniform. Signed, James N. Mattis. So, I look at this and I think about all the events that have just recently transpired, even over the course of just today alone. Now, again, I have not confirmed this yet about the 7,000 troops coming back from Afghanistan, but we know that Trump has said he wants to pull the troops from Syria. And what I'm seeing here is somebody frustrated because funding is being pulled away from the military-industrial complex. You know, there's a lot of things today that make me feel a little better about Trump. A lot of things today make me wonder just how deep his game goes. You know, you hear a lot of people talk about, oh, he's playing 4D chess, he's playing 5D chess. And I blow it off a lot because, you know what? Excuses are excuses are excuses. But I look at this. These are good moves, folks. Pulling our troops out of these countries are good moves. Good, solid, sound moves that I stand completely behind. We are risking too many lives. We're spending too much money. And for what? For what? To protect us back here? That excuse is tired and old. We need to get our troops back here. But then that makes me ask the question, is there a reason besides this that we need to get our troops back here? We've got a lot going on, folks. Craziness in the stock market. I mean, you name it. We've got a lot going on. It's just food for thought, but I really never expected Mattis to take a swing at Trump. That is something I never expected in a million years. So we'll see. Keep your eyes open, stay vigilant, and make sure you prepare.